Welcome to Speed Kolor, a podcast and YouTube channel about custom motorcycle culture. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to get all the latest content. You can also follow Speed Kolor on Instagram. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey there! Welcome to another episode of Speed Kolor. Folks, we are headed into uncharted waters. We're going into a situation that I don't think any of us have ever seen. And what I'm talking about is this whole tariff trade war situation that's coming. A lot of you, and I don't blame you, I understand totally. A lot of you may be thinking right now, Bruce, I don't give a shit about politics. That's okay, and I get it. Unfortunately, whether we care or not about the politics, what's going to happen, or what looks like it's going to happen, is going to impact all of us. And, I've been really struggling with this because I find it really unfortunate that here we are, we're a community of people, builders, riders, who enjoy custom motorcycles, whether you consider it your art, which I do, but whether you consider it your art or your passion or just a hobby or whatever. We all love this motorcycle thing. And, across border and across border around the world, I mean, there's cafe racers and choppers and race bikes and cool stuff in Japan and Taiwan and Italy and here in North America and certainly US, Canada. Man, it doesn't matter if you go to Friday the 13th in Port Dover from the States, or whether you go from Calgary here down to Born Free in California. Nobody really cares. I've never had anybody even ask where I was from or if I was Canadian, and I can't see that anybody would really care. It's just not. It's not something that matters in this community, and I guess for that reason, I find it really unfortunate that a community that gets along so well with really no problems about borders or anything else is going to get impacted and significantly by these political decisions and what's being done. So just to put a little context on that, and if you watched my last episode, I did talk about tariffs and tried to do my best to explain tariffs as I understand them. Again, just quick recap, I do not believe that what President Trump is doing is strategic or really very well thought out. I understand the motivation. I just don't think the strategy, I'm not sure there is a strategy. But whatever his goal and his plan of getting there is, I don't think it's solid. I don't think it's well thought out. Now, having said that, I will say again, I don't believe that our Canadian government or our provincial governments is going in the right direction. This whole concept of hitting back, okay, I get it. It's a visceral reaction. Somebody punches you in the face. The animal reaction is fight or flight, and nobody's running away. So guess what? We're going to punch back. We're going to hit you back. Well, yeah, okay, that could serve a purpose, I guess. Again, to recap what I've said before, in the past, yes, hitting back strategically taking specific things and impacting those, whether it's Kentucky bourbon or whatever else, at the state level, something that is specialized in manufacturing. Hitting back at that created a situation where the state politicians went to the federal politicians and said, hey, this isn't good. This is affecting our state. This is affecting our economy. Do we really need to have this tariff or tax on Canadian products? And that usually resulted in a change, or at least a negotiated result. So when that happened, that made sense. Unfortunately now, I don't believe that rationale or strategy is going to do any good. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think Mr. Trump is particularly interested in hearing from the states, from the governors. I don't think he's open to changing what he's doing, or to sitting down and coming up with a different strategy or a strategy. I don't see it working. So what our Canadian governments, provincial and federal, are planning to do with retaliation is only going to drive up costs for Canadians, and ultimately is going to cause hard feelings between Canadians and Americans. Hard feelings that we really don't need. I don't see any need for it at all. So, I'm looking at this, and I want you to know, I'm going to tell you what this show is about in a minute, but I need to make it very clear that I have no problem with Americans in general. Okay, I am not a fan of President Trump. I'll admit that. I respect the position, and I treat the man with the respect that the position deserves. I don't agree with a lot of what he's doing, and I think that's okay. That's what democracy and our culture here is about. You can disagree. So I disagree. But in general, I love going to the U.S. I enjoy Americans. I enjoy what the U.S. offers. I spend money in the U.S. No issues, no problems at all. And I think most Canadians feel the same way, that they do not have a problem with Americans or American culture. Certainly we don't have a problem with your landscape and the geographies and the wonderful places that you have and all that kind of stuff. But I also understand Canadians in this case feeling very, I'm not going to say hurt, I'm going to say offended that the U.S. would apply these tariffs and everything in such a broad, impactful way that really, I guess we're all wondering, is this really necessary to achieve the goal? Is this the way it has to go down? So I understand people saying, buy Canadian, and I'm not buying anything from the U.S., and buy from other places in the world, and we need to find new customers. We need to export our products to other people, and I even understand the emotion behind don't travel to the U.S., don't go there. I get it. I think it's extreme. Again, I'm not sure it's going to accomplish what we really want to accomplish. And I guess if it makes you feel good to do that, that's okay. I don't feel particularly good about doing that. That said, what this show is about, and ongoing, something that I want to do, is I want to highlight Canadian manufacturers in the custom motorcycle industry. Now, saying that, I am not saying that you should only buy Canadian. I'm not saying that you shouldn't finish your project because the parts you need are only available from a U.S. supplier or a U.S. manufacturer. And unfortunately, our art, our passion is structured that way, that there are some things we use to build that simply aren't available from anybody else other than a manufacturer in the U.S. or a manufacturer somewhere else in the world. It's not just a U.S. thing. So I'm not saying that we can't do business with Americans. It's not my intent at all. My intent is to highlight what I think are wonderful manufacturers here in Canada, and I would encourage Americans, U.S. builders, take a look at the products. I know a lot of you do. I don't want to get on a soapbox here. I know a lot of you already buy Canadian products. You've looked at what we do, what certain people do. I would just say, hey, when it's the right part for your build or your motorcycle, I hope you don't mind buying Canadian. We appreciate it. It's all good. Yeah, that's really what this is about. And I understand that things are most likely going to get more expensive if these tariffs go into play, and whatever happens down the road. Hopefully it'll all get straightened out, and if prices go up, will they ever come back to where they are today? Sadly, they probably won't. But they'll come down. We'll get back into things. In the meantime, I have no intention of stopping my builds, and I'll put it out there. By the time this airs, I will most likely be in Washington State. I'm going down to meet a young man who reached out to me, who is building some very cool XS650 stuff. I'm going to go see him, record an episode of Speed Kolor with him. I'm going to put him up on my channel, and that's an American manufacturer. And again, I don't give a shit that he's American. It doesn't matter. He's a cool dude building some really cool stuff for XS650s, and I want to make people aware of that. I want to bring light to that, and hopefully one of these days, if I can figure out how to make money doing this, one of these days I would travel to Japan or to Taiwan or to the Philippines or wherever. I would go there to talk to somebody who's doing something really creative and really innovative. That's fine. There's no barriers. There's no issues here. So I want to bring to light manufacturers today, some manufacturers that I have dealt with and am aware of if I haven't dealt with them. What I'm going to do today is certainly not a comprehensive list, and I apologize. I wish I could cover everybody, but I am going to reach out to anybody who listens to or watches this podcast/YouTube video, that I would love to make up a list of Canadian custom motorcycle accessories, parts manufacturers. I would love to get a comprehensive list. I would love to publish that list to people, make you aware of more of those manufacturers. I guess to the point, if you know of somebody, whether they're in your area or not, I don't care. But if you know of somebody who's manufacturing good products for custom motorcycles, please let me know about them. Give me their information. Let me know how I can get in touch with them. I would, as I say, I would love to make up a list. I will do my best to get it out there. And I'll do a shameless plug here. I don't know if you're all aware that you can access Speed Kolor on InsideMotorcycles.com. So InsideMotorcycles.com used to be the hard copy magazine Inside Motorcycles. It's now gone digital, like so much of the world is going digital. And you can access InsideMotorcycles.com on the web. When you go there, there is a link to go to episodes of, well, to go to the YouTube channel of Speed Kolor. And I am very appreciative that Inside Motorcycles approached me for that. I think it's great, and I am super proud to have a link on InsideMotorcycles.com. Please visit InsideMotorcycles.com. Come on over to Speed Kolor and check things out. That's all good. What I would like to do, where I was going is, what I'd like to do is I would like to get InsideMotorcycles.com to publish kind of a master list of Canadian manufacturers. And I think I could probably talk them into doing that. So, want to get exposure for all you Canadian manufacturers. Want to make sure we get the facts straight. Would love to talk to more of you. Heck, I'd like to see builds that use some of the products. Please, let's do that. It's all good. I just want to grow this thing and grow the community. And you know, once we pay a little more attention to Canadian stuff, maybe we can do more international stuff and talk to more people. What do I want to talk to you about today? Let's start with almost old school. On the XS650, I was talking to Jeff at Perth County Moto, and I had picked up the tank and the fender and a few things from Jeff, and we got talking about handlebars and sissy bar. And he said, you know what, why don't you do custom one-off just for that project, handlebars and sissy bar. So we talked about it, and his recommendation was Graham at Almost Old School. Graham's a cool guy. I met him, I believe I met him at the event at Shakespeare Brewing, 3 years ago. And then I met him again last year at the Bad Livin' Roadshow in Durham, Ontario. Cool event, really neat. Lee Sipes, cool dude. All those, whole bunch of vendors, shops, manufacturers down in that southern Ontario area. They all support the show and go to it. I was blown away last year by the choppers and just, oh man, there was so much stuff there. At the Frontier, what the heck is that called? Frontier Town. Anyway, it's a real cool setting. There's camping, there's bands, there's all kinds of live stuff going on. Lee just loses his mind and puts this thing together, and it's unbelievable. So I met Graham there and talked to him there again. And when Jeff said I should really think about doing this, I thought, well, you know what? That'd be kind of cool. And I was going for a certain look with the XS650. So we talked about it, and we came up with rabbit ear handlebars. And I'll hold these up. and maybe I can zoom in on them. Maybe I can take some stills as well. So these are for the Springer front end that I have in front of me here. Graham's bars come with, and actually let me back up for a second. So what happened here is talked to Graham, figured it out. He said take some measurements, what have you. So I took measurements for these bars on the bike when I had it mocked up. I sat on it, decided where I wanted to sit, how far apart should the bars be, all that stuff. So these are completely made to my specs. If they're wrong, it's my fault. But anyway, they're not wrong. They're right. They worked out okay. Graham, almost old school, I should say too. Almost old school does handlebars, sissy bars. He's got some very cool jockey shifts for Harleys that I don't think are on his website yet. And Graham, I got to tell you, buddy, let's update the website, man. You need to get some of your newer products on there because I know you got a bunch of cool stuff. So Graham does a whole bunch of cool stuff. I think most of what he does is work in stainless steel. That seems to be his niche. So these bars are polished stainless steel. They're not chrome. They may look chrome on camera here, but they're a polished stainless. Graham believes it's a really durable way of doing it. I guess the nice thing is you can always polish it up again if you get some kind of a mark on it or whatever. It's cool. It works. It's a great product. Graham does a great job. So measured these up, sent him the measurements. We went back and forth a little bit, and he made these up. And Graham's bars for a Springer like this, you can see where they mount to this plate that he provides, which is an adapter plate to mount on the Springer. Really well done. He provides the stainless bolts that go through the chamfered holes here. Everything's good. Mounts up fine. Tell you a funny story, because I've never had a set of bars like this before, or had this adapter for the Springer. When the bars showed up, I just took them out of the box the way they were, threw them on the bike, and just about lost my mind. They were a quarter of an inch away from the gas tank. I couldn't turn them more than about 5 degrees either way. I looked at where they sat, and I thought, oh my God, my fat little body, I won't even be able to hold on to those and steer. They were going to be way back here. So I looked at it and I thought, oh man, did I screw up the measurements or what happened here? Well, as it turned out, that plate's reversible. So when I got it initially, this plate was turned around, which meant these holes were up here. And it's surprising the difference a couple inches makes, right? So the holes were up here. When I mounted it, of course, it pushed everything back towards me. Took this plate off, turned it around, remounted them, and everything is good. Everything clears the gas tank, goes stop to stop. Sitting on the bike, the position of the bars is really comfortable, really nice. Everything worked out just fine. So the other thing I did when I was having these made is I asked Graham if it made sense to him to have him install the internal throttle. And he agreed that, yeah, the best time to do that is when you're making the bars. So he made these bars with a custom tech. Give me a second, because I did make some notes about this. Yes, custom tech internal throttle from Perth County Moto. So Jeff had this in stock. It was exactly what we needed. He sent it over to Graham. I didn't have to have it shipped out west here or anything. And Graham installed the internal throttle. Very cool. Really good. Nicely drilled and chamfered hole here for the cable to come out. So everything worked out absolutely great. And really nice. It's really good when you can get custom work done and you can have add-ons like that, and you've got a couple guys who are working together to make sure that you get what you're after. So, internal throttle from Perth County Moto, the bars from Almost Old School, they worked out great. And again, I'll put a picture or two in there. I think I got a couple shots of these mocked up on the bike. Yeah, very, very happy. Quality work, beautiful bends, nice welds, great polishing, just good. Can't say enough about that. So, on to the sissy bar. 9/16 stock, really good. Again, stainless steel, polished up, good stuff. I wanted, I guess maybe Alfred's included in that. Hold on a second. So, I wanted to stick with, if you look at the profile of the bike, the gas tank has a nice curve down. The handlebars, of course, now have a beautiful curve to them that matches the gas tank. The fender has a really nice curve down. Hopefully by tomorrow evening, the exhaust is going to have a real nice downswept curve to it. I found somebody that I think can do mandrel bends. But anyway, that's another story. So everything on the XS650 flows to the back like that. And what I wanted the sissy bar to flow at the back as well. That's why we put this bend in it. And it's kind of cool. It works. I'm happy. I'm thinking it also gives me a little bit of a shelf here that I can tie stuff to on the back of the bike if I need to. I don't think I'm going to do a back pad or anything, and I'm certainly not going to mount the light on here or anything. But it works well and it ties in. Small problem that I ran into, small problem. Graham put these mounts on, and that's just I don't know what kind of mount you'd call that. It's a stainless spacer welded on the bottom, pretty common setup. Bruce missed the measurement. Being that this is my first time trying to do this, don't know how I did it, but I got the measurement wrong. The measurement I'm talking about is from the curve, the narrowing of the sissy bar to the mounting point is not right for the fender. That created a problem that we were kind of concerned we couldn't really get around. I thought about maybe doing mounts on the frame tubes, the down tubes at the back. There, do that for the camera. I thought about some mounts down there, and I don't like it. Alfred used the term, he said, it looks like a wart on the tube. And that was all he had to say to turn me off. I figured, okay, that's not what we're doing. So I looked at it, and I came up with something. And give me just a second, because I might as well tell you what I'm doing here, or show you what I'm doing. So just give me a second. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. I just had to grab a couple pieces. So if you watched the Build Stuff episode, the one I put up recently, just the other day, So on the Build Stuff episode, I talked about how I was using a ribbed theme for the front spacers. The headlight's going to have a grille, which gives it that ribbed look. The springs, of course, have a ribbed kind of look. You've got the cooling fins on the bike. The foot pegs are going to have this ribbed look to them. I'm just going to use it everywhere I can on the bike. So the ribbed look, I got thinking about it, 2:36 in the morning, laying there thinking, how am I going to fix that? And what I came up with, I picked up a piece of stainless with, what do they call this, Schedule 20 or something? Anyway, it's got a fairly thick wall. So I picked up this piece of stainless, and it's almost a 9/16 inside diameter. I'm going to have to punch it out a little bit. But with that opened up, I'm going to take that spacer off the bottom of the sissy bar, and the sissy bar ends will slide into this. I'm going to do about a 3-inch piece of this and do my ribbed look on the lathe. Using my parting tool, I'm going to create that ribbed effect, and then this will simply have a tab at the bottom that goes onto that hole in the axle plate where you would typically mount a sissy bar. So just I bought stainless steel tabs so I can polish it up too. Bar stock, I guess, is what I should say. So this and the tab, once they're welded together, polish it all up, it'll have the ribbed look, and then I'll be able to put the sissy bar end into this tube, and I'll be able to adjust the height of the sissy bar, and we'll either weld it in place once we get the height set, or the other thing I could do is I could drill this and put a couple set screws in it and use set screws into the sissy bar, which would make it adjustable. And I don't know that I'd ever need to adjust it, but if I wanted to use it on another bike at some point, or if I did find I needed to make an adjustment, or if for some reason I had to change the fender because something got buggered up, who knows? So I may weld it, or I may try the set screw thing and see how that works. But the key is I'm going to be able to make those pieces, and I think, and you know, isn't it great that when we screw things up, sometimes it makes it better? Looking at it, nothing wrong with what Graham did on the sissy bar. Totally functional, looks good, no issue. This, I think, is going to look better. This is going to tie the sissy bar into that same look everywhere on the bike. So I'm pretty happy with that. Again, almost old school, polished stainless, beautiful stuff. Graham's a great guy to work with. If you got any needs, I know Graham's doing some other stuff. He's working on things there. So please feel free to reach out to Graham. Good guy. He's got a website. As I say, needs a little updating, but it's there, and you can certainly get a hold of him. I am going to wheel the frame jig into place here and talk to you about another product that I really like. All right, got the frame jig in place here. I've got the XS650 on it. I don't know what to tell you about this. I want to talk about this guy. I don't know if I'm supposed to, but you know what? We'll give this a shot, and if I get myself in trouble, I get myself in trouble. I want to talk to you about Sean's Non-Stock Customs. I went down, you may have watched, I think I did 2 episodes on Sean. I flew down to Halifax to pick up the hardtail kit for this bike. Sean does a lot of Sportster stuff, a lot of frames, very cool stuff. I think he does a soft tail Sportster. SNS Customs, or Sean's Nonstock Customs is the name of the company. He did some XS 650 stuff. He does some big V twin stuff. Does a bunch of stuff. Springer front ends. Sean's hardcore, man. Man, oh man, that guy, his designs and his workmanship and quality, just unbelievable. Sadly, shortly after I went down to Halifax and met Sean and recorded the episodes, he got a pretty good gig doing some other work and decided to take a contract. And at that time, he shut down SNS Customs. So I did the episodes on him, but I couldn't really promote him. And things have been going pretty well for him. I know he was working on a bike for his son. I've been following the progress on that. Looks real good. And this new gig that he took on seems to be working out. And he just let me know the other day, and this is the part, Sean, I hope I don't get myself in trouble with you here, man. That's not the intention. But he let me know the other day that he has started doing some motorcycle stuff, production again, on a part-time basis, very limited, and he just wanted to reach out and let me know in case there was anything I needed. I haven't seen him make any kind of a public announcement, and I certainly don't want to steal his thunder or anything like that, but I just thought while we're talking about Canadian manufacturers, I just have to tell you about this guy, and I'm amazed at how many people know about him anyway. He's got a fantastic reputation, and it really saddened me when Sean said he was shutting down his business because he's just so exceptional. That was unfortunate to see him stop, but boy, oh boy, I'm sure glad that he's back in a limited way, and who knows what the future brings. And maybe he'll find a way to make both things work out, the contract that he has or job that he has, plus the motorcycle thing. But I did want to follow up on the motorcycle, on the XS 650 hardtail. Beautiful work, exceptional work. This thing lined up so well when we put it in place. Sean's instructions were fantastic. This thing is straight and square, and I can't say enough good things about how this worked out. Few details on Sean's stuff. He provides this really nice plate to go in here if you want to use it, to trim up this section and to provide a seat mount. So I've made a seat mount to go in here, and we've got the seat and stuff, and that's all fine. Down here at the bottom, Sean's design is really solid, and the way it ties into the bottom of the backbone here, the down tube, really, really nice. As I say, it lined up beautifully. It's square, it's straight. And now we're starting to add on the fender mounts, the master cylinder mounts, that kind of stuff. Something really, I found anyway, something unique about Sean's, it comes, when he was making these for the XS 650, you could get it one of two ways. So he would do it with axle plates that handled the 20 mil stock Yamaha axle. And I believe he may have provided the axle with the 20 mil as well, or and the adjusters and everything, of course. Or you could get his hardtail with the optional 3/4 inch axle, which is Harley Davidson. I went for the 3/4 axle because the Springer front end has 3/4 axle. Not that you're going to move the wheel from the front to the back or anything like that. But going with the 3/4 inch on the rear, and again, Sean provided the axle with the kit. The adjusters are welded in place, everything's there. Going with the 3/4 axle, I was able to get wheels that match, that look right. I'm using, it's all Harley brake parts and all kinds of stuff. So it kind of made the frame and the wheels standard sizing, and the engine is metric sizing, and that's the way I'm trying to keep it. The other interesting thing about the back here is Sean is sharp enough that he knows that the sprocket for a Harley Davidson is not going to work well with the Yamaha motor. So he actually makes, and it's on the wheel now, but he makes a sprocket for the back wheel that is the standard Harley bolt pattern, but the right size for a Yamaha XS 650. That's really a cool thing. That makes things so much easier. And again, that comes with his kit, or came with his kit. I'm not sure if he's going to do XS 650s again. Worth checking with him. But again, because I'm highlighting Canadian manufacturers, I just had to talk about Sean's non-stock customs. Beautiful, beautiful work. Really, really nice. I'm glad to hear that he's getting things to the point where he can dabble again. And I would say that, man, I look forward to the day when Sean is back in the game and doing this full time. And maybe he can hire somebody to do the motorcycle stuff under his supervision. Maybe he can do the other stuff that he does, the contract work. Maybe he can hire somebody to do that while he plays with motorcycles. I don't know. Sean, great products, man. Really hope you can get back into it and appreciate everything you've done. That's it for the SNS custom stuff that I wanted to talk about. And you can you? I wonder if Sean's website is still up. I'd look for a website, and I'd maybe look on Instagram and see if you can search him out that way. But you should be able to find him. I'm not going to give out his information at this point because I haven't got his permission to do that, and I will try and reach out to him as well. Anyway, so that's it for this. I'm going to get this thing back out of the way and talk to you about a couple other things I know about, and just wrap up the episode. So give me a minute, I'll get this out of the way. All right, couple other manufacturers I wanted to mention to you. And this is a guy that Sean mentioned to me, and honestly, I have not talked to this guy. I haven't connected with him. I've looked at his website. I'm not sure if his email is working on the website, so he might be a little bit tough to get a hold of. If anybody knows how to get a hold of him, I'd really like to talk to this guy and find out more about what he's doing. But Sean said his work is really, really nice. The name of the company is Northern Springers, and he builds Springer front ends, and I believe he's either in Winnipeg or very close to Winnipeg. Like I say, I went on and looked at his website. Oh man, yeah, nice stuff, nice Springer front ends. Stuff looks really cool. So that's at least two guys in Canada that manufacture springers. Maybe we have a bit of a knack for the springer thing. I don't know. But anyway, as I say, I haven't dealt with them. I don't know. I looked at the product, looked at the pricing and everything. Seems very fair, and it is beautiful stuff from what I can tell. So if anybody knows how to get a hold of them, let me know. The other company that I wanted to mention, and I'm sure there's lots more companies like this out there, and I don't mean to make that sound like it's easy to do what they're doing or anything like that, but I imagine they serve local markets to a large degree. Anyway, I was in this shop. I've seen their work. Hellbent Metal Works in Calgary. So Hellbent does handlebars, crash bars, protective bars, bars to protect the bags and the bodywork and stuff like that. I'm sure they do a pile of custom stuff. Busy shop. I know they do a lot of work for the local Harley store. Everything I've heard is good. Nice little shop in Calgary. Have not used any of their product myself, but I've read some of the reviews on the website and stuff like that, and it sounds like quality work. Everybody's happy. So there's another Canadian manufacturer. The last one that I want to mention today is Precision Frameworks, and again, Precision Frameworks does a lot of custom bikes, a lot of one-offs. There's lots of those guys across the country for sure. But the reason I bring up PFX is Thug Motorcycles, and PFX and Thug Motorcycles have been connected for a long time. And if you watch, in season 1, we sat down with, Mac was still around at that time, and we sat down with Brent and had a talk about Thug Motorcycles. And at that time, they were working on the FXR Thug, if you want to call it that. Anyway, good episode to go back and take a look at if you want to. The design for the bike, they ran into a couple issues along the way here. Some of them, I don't know what I can say, but anyway, some of them requiring, investment and what have you. But the bike is progressing. They are now working on a second model of the Thug. Thug started out back in the long chopper, fat back tire era. That's what Thug was building then. I know that Precision Frameworks back at that time used to do a lot of frames for builders around the world. They had a very good reputation. They still do. But that was a different style of bike. Now we're into this newer stuff. In terms of Canadian manufacturing, oh my goodness, would it ever be nice to see an actual, honest to goodness, DOT licensed, certified, legit, real motorcycle company, a real Canadian motorcycle manufacturer. That would be a wonderful thing. And Brent, I sure hope it keeps coming together here. I hope we see something from you soon. That would be great. And in light of everything that's going on, could give us an affordable, well, I don't know, are they ever affordable? But an affordable V-twin option to Harley Davidson or Indian, built right here in Canada. So that's another good one. Again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I need to get the message out. Folks, if you know somebody who's manufacturing in Canada, whether it's cafe racer parts, hey, carbon fiber. I'd love to know about somebody doing carbon fiber body work. I don't know if there's such a thing as carbon fiber gas tanks. I don't know if there are, because carbon fiber, well, yeah, sure, there could be. I don't know. Yeah, interesting stuff. I want to know about all of it. Electronics, anything. I know, and actually, I know there's a guy in Calgary here who is manufacturing an electronic system for motorcycles. It's a little bit different than the offering that is out there right now that everybody, that a lot of people use, and I think everybody's aware of. It's kind of more of a modular design from what I understand. Maybe I can connect with him. I'll check with Ill-Fated Customs and see what they know about him and how he's doing, but that's another option too. So there's just so much good going on out there. I would like to spread the word, and I will have an episode coming up on this cool XS650 stuff that I got onto, and we'll update you on that. That's it for this episode. That's all I got to say. Hey, if you haven't already, if you'd subscribe, that would be great. If you subscribe and turn on notifications, you're going to find out about Build Stuff episodes. Build Stuff hasn't been as common or as frequent is the right term. Not as frequent as I want it to be or had intended it. Hey, I'll be honest with you. I am retiring this year. So the end is in sight. I can see the runway. The landing gear is down. We're on final approach. And we're going to get that work thing, that typical work week thing out of my way. And then I can put a little more effort into this. Not that I don't put effort into it. Boy, oh boy, this is a pile of work. But I will have more time to put that effort into it. So stand by for that. We're going to keep putting episodes out in the meantime and doing what we can. And, we're on Instagram. We are not on Facebook. Zuckerberg and I don't get along. I know he owns Instagram too, but I was on Instagram before he owned it, and I love it. Instagram's the platform for me. Playing around on Threads a little bit. Haven't really got that going yet. But if you were to follow us on Instagram, podcasts are available, and hopefully most of these episodes are pretty decent as a podcast as well as a video. We're on YouTube. We're here. We appreciate you following, subscribing, liking, leaving comments, asking questions. I do get to every question and every comment. That's one thing I'm proud of, that I've been able to do that since day one. Yeah. That's where we're at. Hope you got some value out of this. Enjoy having you here. Stick with me. I appreciate it. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Thanks.